Hello guys, this is UniversalGiant and welcome back for more of Let's Play Pokémon SoulSilver. Last time, we arrived at Pewter City and took on Brock to earn ourselves the Boulder Badge. This time, we're going to be heading towards the east and towards Cerulean City, going through Mount Moon. Why? Because I said so and I'm indecisive. Shorts boy. Okay, I can call you Shorts Boy. Oh, Regis, I remember you. You are the Shorts Boy. Hey, everybody, it's the Shorts Boy. You remember the Shorts Boy from the first game? You know, shorts are comfortable and easy to wear. There's actually a guy like that in Black and White, too, that references the same thing. Which is actually quite hilarious. I forget what town he's in. I want to say he's in the last town. And I think he says the exact same thing. It's like, oh my god, it's the Shorts Kid! He says the same thing! They found that funny too! Oh my god! Remind me never to do that voice again. Why am I keeping this battle in again? I guess I feel like I haven't been doing too many battles anyway. It feels like whenever I'm on a route like this, I just cut out every single one of the battles. It's very different now. You know, I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed the change or if you appreciate it or not. I assume you do, because most of the fights I'm cutting out aren't that interesting anyway. It just feels weird after the entire Johto region not cutting out any battles except for maybe one or two of them that were extremely dull. Now I'm just cutting out all of the ones that are outside of the gym because 90% of them aren't that interesting anyway. I just felt like leaving this in because Regis is here! Oh my god. Fail boy. With a capital F. This game... Why am I saying... This is a Pokemon game! Why does it have a sense of humor? What is this? What is the world we live in? What has this come to? You know, even now Duster is surprising me with how powerful he is. I believe the only fights I'm thinking about are the ones where Duster is clearly outmatched, and just about anybody in those fights would have been clearly outmatched, like in the fight we had against Lance, the champion of the Johto region, where I tried bringing him in on that Dragonite, and it didn't work out so hot. I mean, those are the kinds of situations of using Duster that come to mind. But you have to look at all of the other... This is not a good matchup for Lupus, is it? Wouldn't be able to switch out even if I wanted to, just because of that Dugtrios Arena trap. Let's see. I don't know if a super effective Ice Beam would do it. I'm feeling more tempted to go with Return, just because I think Return would do more damage. And see if Flamethrower can hit the Electabuzz. But a lot of the fights I remember bringing Duster in on are fights where anybody of his level would have been clearly outmatched. So it isn't necessarily fair to... That's probably not good for me, is it? Now there's another interesting tactic. Remember how Discharge would hit all Pokemon on the field, including your... That did a lot more damage than I thought it would. Well! That's my luck in a nutshell. So let's see. Duster's probably going to die if he stays in. Who do I want to bring in to take the dig? Because he's probably going to hit Lupus. I'll probably bring in HCB just so I could Earthquake it. Unfortunately, it's still underground, and it can still use Arena Trap despite the fact that it's underground. That's apparently a thing. A Flamethrower would be enough to knock out the Electabuzz. It's just that I'm afraid that digging against either Duster, since he's at half health, or Lupus with how fragile he is and how he's weak to ground type, I'm afraid that the dig will knock out either one of these guys. Duster wants to learn me first! A move that I use so infrequently I don't even remember what it is. I think if you're faster than your opponent, you can steal the move that your opponent is going to use against you on the next turn and attack for greater damage. But, does anybody use me first? Seriously. Please survive this, Lupus. I'm not in the mood to run back to a Pokemon Center and heal you up. What is with the crits today? Sweet revenge! Sweet, sweet revenge. I guess I'll go heal up, although this isn't exactly a nice transition to. Down here, if you happen to have a Deoxys from the 4th generation, these may look familiar from like the rocks from that one town whose name I forget. And just like those rocks in the Sinnoh region, if you inspect any of these rocks by just tapping A against them... Meteorites from space, indeed. These are the stones that will change Deoxys' form, from normal to attack to defense to speed. I know nothing more beyond that because I have not played the 4th generation in enough detail that I know anything about Deoxys besides the fact that it changes form and it's a psychic type. Although I suppose that's sufficient information for anybody. I don't know, Deoxys has always been kind of cool. There are so many things you could try using him for, just depending on which form you want to use him with. Interesting to talk about, you are also a fire breather, which means I probably want to go with somebody besides Duster. I'm sorry, Duster, I really want to keep you out front, and I meant to hit switch. But kind of tempted to go with Crunch also. It's been a while since we've used Crunch. Yes, it is! Camerupt! Haven't seen one of these yet, have we? I actually think we might have, or maybe that's because I ran into a whole bunch of them in Reverse Mountain. Camerupt, the evolved form of Numel or Numel from the Hoenn region! Fire ground type! We'll certainly be seeing one of these in the near future. But until then, all you need to know is that he's 4 times weak to water. See you, Latino Heat! Interesting cry, also. I've never actually listened to it before. He's also got 2 little volcanoes on his back. That's neat. That's so sad. I'm sorry to hear that, Otis. Billy! Haven't spoken to you in a while. I don't even remember who you are. Our first rematch! And now that he's actually called us about the rematch, if we look at our map and go all the way over to Route 15, wherever he happens to be... Where's Route 15, by the way? Did I just pass it? Is it in Kanto or is it in Johto? It's in Kanto. I was expecting our first call to be in Johto. Billy! Now that he's asked for a rematch, you can see that red exclamation point next to Route 15. Very nice that they have that indicator there. You still have to remember that he's there, though. Also, any of the tall grass that I'm avoiding... There's no item down there, is there? Any of the tall grass I'm avoiding is because there's nothing all that interesting for us to get there, but I figure we've been past that so many times, you don't need me to tell you that. And over here we get a big root, which is another interesting hold item. Not that I'm going to use it in this run, but the big root powers up. Well, not necessarily powers up. It increases the amount of HP you steal if you have an HP stealing move. So if, for instance, you're playing Black 2, White 2, and you picked yourself Snivy, and it learns stuff like Giga Drain, the big root will increase just how much HP you get back when you use it. Really fun to use, if the situation warrants it. Otherwise, it's not so much a big help. I also believe I've neglected to mention just how much I appreciate Rhydon's cry, just like how intimidating Nidoking's is. And since you look like a fighter, I'm gonna lead with the Psychic type, because that makes sense! And Klaus is finally prompted at level 50 to learn Last Resort. Last Resort is a very powerful move, base 130 power, but you can only use it if you've used all of the other moves that you know. So if we wanted to, say, get rid of Quick Attack to learn Last Resort, we would have to use Psychic, Shadow Ball, and Swift while Klaus is still out before we could use Last Resort. And if you want to try to do something fancy and have Last Resort be your only move, it'll just fail every time you try to use it. You have to have at least one other move for Last Resort to work. And I want to say that's the last move that Klaus would be prompted to learn, although I forget at what level it learns Psychic. And with Klaus's level up, I believe everybody on our team is finally up to level 50. Took long enough, right? How'd you know? And another Pokemon who has an extremely intimidating cry that I never mentioned before. Steelix! And they're all ground types. Is that just a coincidence, or what? This guy had a Macargo! I'm not sure if we've actually had the chance to see one yet, but if we haven't, we'll see one very shortly, trust me. Behind that rock, Smash Ball Rock is a hidden item I'm not really in the mood to pick up because I don't want to get Smash Ball out of the PC. Take too long, too much effort, don't really feel like going through it. Yes, they do. Yes, it is. I'm very glad that they allow you to actually heal up over here because I could certainly use it. And now that we're all healed up, it's about time we headed into Mount Moon because I get the feeling I've cut out a lot more footage from this video than I think I did. So, without further ado, let's make our way into Mount Moon, the only area of the main part of Kanto we have yet to explore. And look who's here to greet us. It's Snicker again, for one last battle. Well, it's not the last battle, but it's the last one that he'll trigger without our being smart enough to prompt him, I guess. And you'll see a lot of his Pokemon have not reached their final evolutions yet, which should at least hint to you that we can fight him again, but more on that when we get there. He's got himself a full roster of 6! I don't remember if he did when we fought him in the Victory Road. If we did, I don't care, because that's how little I care about you, Snicker. But you'll also notice that his Golbat still hasn't evolved either. And although I mentioned this before, Golbat evolves via happiness. If his Golbat isn't happy with them, he ain't evolving. Which means he's still got a little bit of soul searching to do before he can actually evolve his Golbat. But one day he might. We'll see. Again, I've always really wanted to try using a Crobat, just because it seems like a fun Pokemon to use, but I don't know, I've just always been so put off by whatchamacallit, by Zubats, just always being there. Zubat, 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 Confuse Ray, Confuse Ray, Confuse Ray, Zubat, Confuse... Oh my god. It's just given me so many... I want to say nightmares as a child, but we all know that's not true. Zubats don't give anybody nightmares, or if they do, I'm sorry. They're just so weak. So many crits! Alakazam, by the way, he's at least evolved as Kadabra, although I seem to remember he did already when we faced him before. Why am I so forgetful? I don't know if it's the issue of myself being forgetful as much as the fact that this LP is taking much longer than it probably should, and it's something I've always kind of wanted to address because I get the feeling this is going to go over the 1 year mark. And I mean, there are a lot of reasons why. I've had computer troubles, I've been extremely busy, I've tried doing multiple projects, including a couple of them in the interim. So it hasn't been all that much time, but by the same token, this has been going on for a really long time, and I don't want to say I'm getting bored of it, because I still enjoy this game as much as I did when I started. But I know there are a lot of people out there that just aren't as interested in Pokemon LPs as other games, and I feel bad for neglecting those of you, but at the same time, your team is really looped this week, aren't you? Gengar, evolved form of Haunter, who we've seen before. I feel bad that, although I've done a number of different games while SoulSilver has been going on, or at least since SoulSilver started, I do feel bad that most of the videos I've been putting up on this channel have been related to Pokemon. I think a lot of that has to do with its resurgence in my heart that I've mentioned before that Gold was the last Pokemon game I'd played for a very long time. So when I came back, Dragon's Den, I'll see you there, but not for a while, because that's going to be a really difficult fight if I go now. But not having played Pokemon for all of those years, I kind of... I mean, I'll get more into that when we walk out this door and it's suddenly Monday evening. You might notice that the music is a little bit different if we come out here Monday evenings. And there's a reason for it! Because Clefairy dance here on Monday nights! Oh no, we've been spotted! No, come back! And they'll always drop for us a moonstone. And this is the reason why a lot of people speculate that Clefairy's from space. Seems legit. But more on why I've been in the Pokemon state of mind lately. You're not gonna let me in? Aw, I wanted to go in. Oh. Since it had been a really long time since I'd played Pokemon, because I kind of gave up on it because it was for kids, and I mean, everybody's gotten to that point at some point in their lives where they realize that Pokemon is just a kid's game. And as a result of that, you kind of shun it away, thinking it's too childish for me, why would I ever play it again? So it was only a couple of years ago when I broke out of that phase and realized just how much I missed Pokemon, just how much of a good game it was. And since then, not only have I been catching up on all of the games that I've missed, but I've also been rekindling all of the love I had for the previous ones, case in point, Heart Gold, SoulSilver right here. And I'm finding the more and more I play these games, the more I seem to like about them. As childish as I used to think that they were, and still think that they are. I mean, this isn't a game for adults or anything, far from it, but I still have just as much fun fighting bird keepers with someone who's 4 times weak to flying as I did before. You have a level 13 Pidgey. A level 13 Pidgey. You... level 13 Pidgey. A level 13 Pidgey. Level 13 Pidgey. Level 13 Pidgey. A Pidgey that was level 13. Level 13 Pidgey. Level 13 Pidgey? Pidgey level 13? Level 13. Level 13 Pidgey! Level 13! Level 13 Pidgey? Level 13! Level 13 Pidgey. A level 13 Pidgey. Level 13! 13! Level 13 Pidgey! Level 13 Pidgey! This is UniversalGiant, and next time on Let's Play Level 13 Pidgey, we'll probably go after Suicune and Latios. Although that may just because I'm feeling a little bit luckier than I should right now. See you then.